Welcome back here to the video. Today we are back on Madden 24 Ultimate Team, and in this video I'm going to be going over some of the best budget cards to pick up to kind of start your team off right in Madden 24. For those of you that maybe don't have a lot of time to play the game a lot and have all these coins to buy all the best players, maybe you don't spend a lot of money, or maybe you just don't play the game too often and want to have some cards to be able to compete for right now. Whatever it may be, I'm going to be going over ways where you will be able to get these budget cards fairly easily, and they will be able to compete with some of those better cards. Maybe not be better, but at least provide some help on your team if that's what you're really needing. So we're going to be doing that right now, and I'm actually using a new feature this year, which is called the catalog. I feel like some people have found this helpful, some people haven't. Personally, I think it's a really cool feature if you really do use what it's meant to be used for. But essentially, you want to go to live events and click on catalog. I cannot talk for a second there. And all this really does is it shows you every card in the game and how you get them. For whatever reason, it defaults to season pass whenever I load into it before everything else loads in. But that is actually a good place to start. So we are going to be starting here just because these are free cards. You get them by just playing the game, leveling up on the field pass. DeAndre Swift, fairly easy to get. He's a pretty solid running back just for these first week or two of Madden. I've heard pretty good things about Bryce Young, and then obviously these cards should be pretty good as well, especially Reggie White. His cards are always very good in Madden. And then, of course, Jalen Ramsey, who can be upgraded throughout the year, and his cards are also usually pretty good. So make sure you make the most out of it with the time you do have. Try and get these free cards because free is free, and they are usually pretty good. I know for sure DeAndre Swift is, in my opinion, and I would really put a lot of faith in that Reggie will be good because his cards seriously are always very good. So make sure you always get the free cards because they're free cards. As for everything else, I have to get all, I think. Okay, yeah, and then it loads in. So again, if you are people that want to grind the game, you can get these these competitive pass players. These are coming out Friday. They're not in the game as of right now, but that's George Pickens, these two cards here, and this AJ Terrell. And this AJ Terrell, the ones in color are only available for the first 1,000 people to reach it. They have the exact same stats as the other one, except the one in color is auctionable, and they have different and better ability buckets. That's really all the kind of, I guess, difference there. But again, if you want to grind and get that, you can. I wouldn't really call that a budget card, I guess, but technically it doesn't cost anything, so I guess it's just a little bit of a gray area there. But the first player I want to go over is actually someone that I picked up from my No Money Spent team in my last video, who's been very good for me. I usually use him in a lot of Maddens at the beginning of the year because he's just, like I said, pretty good. And that is going to be this Justin Reed card. He's only an 80 overall, 25,000 coins. It seems a little expensive, but there is a reason he's more expensive than those other 80 overalls. And it's because if you do click on him here and go to his stats, he does have 82 speed, which is pretty good for an 80 overall with 80 zone and 77 man. Again, he's cut pretty big for me in a few games I've played off camera. He's got some interceptions. He's been pretty good. So you always want to kind of look for the guys that may be lower overalls but have that kind of better speed or better coverages. Typically, they're going to be more expensive than the other people at that overall that don't have those. But if it's like 5,000 or 6,000 coins more for someone that could be on your team for like a week or two longer, it's definitely worth it. So in my opinion, Justin Reed is someone you can get pretty easily just by playing the game, doing some challenges. Maybe if you can't win online yet, then again, just keep doing those challenges and stuff like that, or solo battles or house rules, whatever it may be. I'm not sure if house rules are out yet. I think it's solo battles. Either way, just kind of doing that, you'll be able to get those coins. It is fairly easy to do that. And again, if you guys, if you like one of these cards, let me know down below if there's someone I'm not going to name. But for free safety, me personally, I do like Justin Reed. I think he's always one of the better free safeties in that kind of like day one, first week of Madden, just because that speed's always pretty good in my opinion. We will next go over, why can I not just go back to, okay, I guess we'll go to all and then go, I just clicked on George Pickens. Okay, give me just a second. Now, next, we're going to be talking about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are always a position people want really good at the start of the year. Again, this Bryce Young, in my opinion, I think is pretty good. And, of course, it's a free card, so make sure you get that. Also, if you will look, it says, like, global usage of, like, how many people are actually using that across the game. Now, it looks like a lot of people are actually trying to get that Kenny Pickett and using him because he's, like, the best quarterback in the game. But, again, sometimes if you want to use that, just kind of see where everybody is as far as that goes. Last year, I used Kyler Murray as, like, one of my starting quarterbacks, and he was okay. This year, I am kind of looking around here, honestly, and I don't think there's, like, as good of budget quarterbacks this year. But I will say Trevor Lawrence is 34,000 coins. That's really not bad in my opinion. And I'm also not sure what his release speed is or anything like that. But as far as his stats go, it is all pretty solid. 82 throw power, 82 short, 78 mid, 79 deep. All upper 70s, while, it's not great. I mean, some of those quarterbacks, like, you will miss a lot of passes if that's like even lower 70s. So just getting close to the 80s is not bad at all. I'm actually not sure about this Tua, so we're going to find out together what this card's looking like. I haven't checked it yet. But again, his accuracies are about the same, maybe a little bit higher. He does have 86 short accuracy, but not the speed isn't there like it is for Lawrence. So it really depends on how you also want to play the game. Because again, if you want like a running quarterback and all that kind of stuff, it is typically going to be more expensive, especially this year because they did make it easier for quarterbacks to be able to escape out of the pocket compared to last season. But in my opinion, Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a pretty good budget quarterback. 34,000 coins really is not that expensive. It might seem like a high price, maybe if you're just playing the game, especially the start of the year when coins and training are kind of hard to come by. But again, if just by playing the game, you will get there quicker than you do realize. Geno Smith is another one where he's kind of around the same price. And again, the speed isn't there, but his accuracies are a bit better. So I think Geno is also another really good option. But again, if you want higher speed, then I guess go Lawrence. Better accuracies, though, I think Geno is there. He has 80 throw power, 82 short, 77 medium, but 82 deep and 81 under pressure and 81 on the run. So again, about 3-4 better than Lawrence, but the speed isn't quite there. So it just depends on how you kind of want to play the game. But I think those, along with Bryce Young, are pretty good budget quarterback options when it comes to this point in the game. Something I also want to talk about here, and we're going to put it back on all and then go to the where is the headliners. Didn't see there for a second. Now, some of these cards can be pretty expensive. But some of the budget players, like these 84s, now you can get these for free. You don't have to buy them. You can get them off the Headliners Field Pass, where you will have a fantasy pack and be able to choose whichever one you want. In my opinion, I would go with J.C. Horn, Kadarius Toney, or Khalil Herbert. You can't really go wrong. Whatever your team need is, go with any of those. Horn is one of the better corners at his price in the game right now. Herbert has actually pretty good speed. I think it's 84 for a running back, which again is pretty solid. It's faster than the DeAndre Swift you get, I'm pretty sure. And then Kadarius Toney, I am not joking when I say this. This card annoys me. He has ran back like 6 kicks on me. It's so annoying, but that card is very good. So if you can get him for free, highly recommend any of those 3 cards. But again, I mean, if you need like, a left in or something, you can always go with that. But in my opinion, I would go with these right here. Then looking at some of the lower ones, I want to come down here to these 79s. So these 79s you will also get for free from whether it's Headliners Objectives or Challenges, I'm not sure, but just by doing that, you will get the pack. And it's a fancy pack. You get to choose any of, I think, starting with him all the way through Wan'Dale Robinson right here. And so they start at 79s. You can upgrade them all the way up to, I want to say, 84s or 85s, which is fairly high. In my opinion, I think Wan'Dale Robinson is good because he has great speed. I think as a 78 right now, he has like, I think 80, whether it's 83 speed. That's pretty good for a 79. Mine is upgraded right now on my team personally. So he has 84. And then the final upgrade will be 85 speed. So 85 speed eventually just for getting a free wide receiver. That's pretty good in my opinion. So I like him a lot. But there's a lot of good options with this pack. And again, it kind of gives you some freedom to kind of go with whoever you want as far as your team need. Like wide receiver is a great one available. Tight end, Isaiah Likely. This guy I think is really, really good. I'm not sure what his stats are maxed out, to be honest with you. But 82 speed on a tight end, it's a 79 overall, is very, very good. And I have to imagine all that catching goes up a good deal. But also, he's 6'5". So he's a 6'5" tight end with 82 speed as a 79. That's a really good budget card. So I highly recommend Isaiah Likely for tight end, especially being a completely free card. You don't have to buy it at all. Isaiah Likely, one of the better ones, in my opinion, in this group. Also, what I want to talk about is this Kobe Durant card. Again, pretty good free corner. He's a zone corner. But he has 83 speed on a 79. I mean, for a free card, you kind of got to just take what you can get. But 83 speed with 80 zone as a 79 is very solid. You're not going to want to run man even when he's maxed out. I'm going to guess his man is probably not higher than a 77. So just be aware of that. But other than that, good speed. And if you sit in zones, this is a good corner. He's 5'10", so he's not super tall, but it's not really super short either. I think just kind of an average corner, but in my opinion, it's a great option for a 79 overall. So again, there at corner, there is some freedom. If you pre-order the deluxe edition, you did get the 85 sauce. But to be honest with you, if you didn't do that, you can still get Kobe Durant and JC Horn completely free as 2 corners that get to be pretty solid. So this Headliners program, don't take this for granted if you are like more of a budget type, whether it's no money spent or whatever it may be. There are some really good cards in this program to pick up, and you can get at least 2 of them for free. The OBJ token was glitched in the challenge. It wasn't giving you that. I believe it was giving you another 84 pack. That's since been patched, but you may be able to get away with getting another 84. So you could have technically got JC Horn and Kadarius Toney both for free, and if you did, honestly, that's a really good deal. And more free cards to get are these team captains. Now, you get all of them for free just by playing, honestly, just play games. That's how you get them. Just from objectives on that Headliners Field Pass. You will get all of them, so you don't have to worry about choosing any of them. In my opinion, Eric Berry is the best one there. So, do is that what you will. I mean, he gets to have fairly good speed and pretty good coverages as a strong safety. Kevin Mawe, very solid starting center. So, I think there's some good cards here. Frank Gore is pretty underwhelming, not great speed. There are definitely better options like we've already covered, like DeAndre Swift and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't really play him much. But Eric Berry, Kevin Mawe, and even Rondé Barber are quality starters on your team. But it seems like Eric Berry is being used the most by a good amount, but between them, after that, it kind of falls off a little bit. And also, I know Frank Gore is still high, but I'm pretty sure it's because he's the first one you get, so people are still using that to help get the objectives done, because some objectives are get whatever with a team captain in your lineup, so that's why he's still there, because otherwise, that speed is really bad. There's not really reason to use him. I also want to briefly talk about some more receivers. Now, I've already kind of covered some, like that free DeAndre Hopkins, or like Wan'Dale Robinson, and stuff like that. And this is really random, but this Christian Kirk has been pretty good for me. And this is like budget, like 10,000 coins budget. Only an 80 overall, 81 speed, 81 catching. I mean, honestly, if you want just a base elite to throw in there, honestly, this card's been pretty good for me. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just me. But if you have some coins to mess around with and you just need a base elite receiver to throw in there, I think, in my opinion, it's worth taking a shot in this card and see if it's good for you, because he's actually had some pretty good catches and a few touchdowns for me. He won't be on the team for very long, but just to, fill that role for right now, I think this is a pretty good option, because, in my opinion, for 10,000 coins, it's been pretty good value. Maybe it'll suck for you. I'm not really sure, but for whatever reason, that Christian Kirk has actually been not terrible for me. But just looking at a bunch of receivers, there are some pretty good budget ones, but I think it does get pretty pricey pretty quickly. Like, even this 83, like 39 to 100K, and then back down to 50K, and it kind of depends. But, like, this Metcalf as an 83 is way more expensive than, like, these 83s. So you got to kind of look through and see what kind of value you can get. Like, this Kadarius Toney, you can go ahead and buy him if you don't want to get him for free, because that he is available to be chosen out of a pack. He is fairly cheap. So, I really do recommend that Kadarius Toney. I forgot I talked about him, actually. So, again, some of the best receivers, like this Jefferson, like 500K, like that's just not really feasible at that point. I will say, for an 85, this John Mechie is pretty expensive, because that's just how 85s are right now. If for some reason you're able to get him, he is actually pretty good. 85 speed, 87 jumping, very solid catching across the board with very high short route running. So I know it's not really much of a budget card, but if you happen to get a really good pool and sell it and have all these coins to use, I think this is actually a pretty good receiver option for being an 85 overall. But that's just my opinion there. Guys, that is all of the players I'm going to cover in this video. If I missed any that you think is a really good budget player, let me know down below. The biggest things, though, just make sure you do spend your coins wisely for this. Take advantage of the Headliners promo. I cannot stress that enough. There are a lot of really good cards that are either pretty cheap or completely free, so make sure you get those. I threw some base elites in there that have been pretty good for me, and cards that I have found to have pretty good value for their price. So again, if there's any that have been very good for you, let me know down below. If you have a bit more coins to work with, like 100K or more, like I said, there are some good ones. Some of those team builders are a bit pricey, but they are pretty good. As far as the budget players go, make sure you're getting those guys off the season pass, Headliners, and then some of the base elites I talked about. But thank you guys for watching. If this was helpful, or you do like Madden or NFL content, I do that. So subscribe to my channel for more videos like that. I have a No Money Spent series going on in Madden 24. Our first episode was yesterday. That'll be going really all year long, pretty much. We'll also be doing gameplays. I have one lined up very soon, early. I did not mean to do that. Very early next week. And then also we will be doing pack openings later on in the year, and all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I do really appreciate it. Oh, I almost forgot. My NFL videos, I also do NFL tier list videos week picks when the season's going on, team predictions, player predictions, and all that kind of stuff. So again, if any of that sounds interesting, I do cover all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I do really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.